Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology update for June 19th through 26th, 2023. Wow, well, we've just come off of a very powerful Gemini new moon with the sun and the moon in square to Neptune in Pisces, bringing us a feeling of confusion about who we are and what we're doing. This grand mutable cross that we felt with the moon. The sun and the moon for this new moon exactly opposite the Galactic Center in square to Neptune, the Galactic Center in Sagittarius, and square to Neptune in Pisces. And across the way from Neptune in Pisces, we have Ceres, asteroid goddess Ceres, representing the energetic body of Earth there in Virgo. So, this grand mutable cross and everything pointing to our spiritual destiny with this activation of the Galactic Center. Bringing feelings with the Sun square Neptune of who in the heck am I and what am I doing? This is part of the process as we rework our reality. Everything is saying right now that we are poised on the edge of massive change, a precipice of a new world. That must mean that we have a new reality and a new way of working in the world. And that's everything the astrology is talking about. So, Ceres opposite of Neptune. Ceres is this asteroid goddess who is the energy of Ceres is like our etheric connection to Mother Earth, our connection to the body of Mother Earth, to the goddess, to the living, breathing picture and energy of what Earth would like to become in the original plan. We carry this in our being, supernova souls. It's like almost like we carry this code in order to, at this exact moment in time, be reawakened to this dream of Mother Earth and our role in this dream. And so, of course, as the dream is landing, our old stories and the old way we saw ourselves and what we thought we would be doing, of course, falling away. Bringing back some energies of confusion over the last couple of years of feeling lost and lack of direction. And yet we can sense that a whole new direction is landing in our life. And so we're figuring out how to embody and receive the new energies. That's everything that's going on with Jupiter in Taurus. So, Ceres opposite Neptune is saying, hey, it's time to awaken and give us back the dream of Earth, claiming it. This is powerful because we know that we're coming up on the intimidating and overwhelming energy of Pluto in square to the nodes of the moon that will peak out in July and August, and we're just moving headlong into this energy. But Pluto in Capricorn, now at 29 degrees Capricorn, is retrograded back into Capricorn, is also in sextile to Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces. So that means that Pluto is coming into trine. Ceres in Virgo will be coming into trine with Pluto. So a beautiful Earth trine, awakening the dream. So Pluto is deep, mysterious energy. It's like way far out there, very powerful, and yet unknown, invisible, something hidden. And so it's connected to our power, or psychic power, where Mars, our masculine planet, is connected to our raw power, our will force, our ability to move and act in the world. Pluto is our higher intuitive power. And so in Capricorn, Capricorn represents structures of authority and structures of reality. So at 29, the very end degrees of Capricorn, coming into the square with the nodes, Pluto is speaking to breaking the chains of all external control over our power. Now, most of us, just like Pluto, we don't even know it's out there, and yet it's so powerful. Most of us don't know how powerful we are. And yet it's like trying to make sense of why we felt so targeted and harassed lifetime after lifetime. Is it finally making sense? It's finally making sense. The pieces are coming together for a brand new perspective on our reality. So, Pluto at the end degrees of Capricorn in this intense square with the nodes of the moon, just as they switch signs from Taurus, Scorpio to Aries, Libra. They go backwards. And then, so just as they switch signs, coming to this exact square with Pluto, speaking to breaking the chains, taking back our power from wherever we've given it away, and that this is the absolute next step. This is the defining moment. This is when humanity stands up and says, "You are not the boss of me." Eradicating control energies from the planet. I mean, it is right here. We are in the moment of massive tectonic plate shifting, and yet it's about reawakening the dream, right? Because Pluto has an energy of destruction. It's a wrecking ball. It kind of lays waste in your life, but it doesn't touch truth, right? It will only dissolve what's not true. So it's a breakdown and it's an illumination and an exposure of what is not true in this world. And wow, do we have a lot of lies to sort through, don't we? So that's the energy. But going back to this, so Pluto square the nodes, it's so epic and so intense. But we also have at the same time Pluto in sextile to Neptune. And so Pluto sextile to Neptune and Neptune opposite Ceres, Pluto trine Ceres and Virgo, a beautiful earth trine saying it's time to break the chains. It's us remembering and coming into our power that allows the dream of earth to be reignited in our soul, in our heart. It's such an incredibly powerful time. And so keeping this in mind, this beautiful possibility that, yeah, we're going to break some shit down, but it's all about stepping back into the dream. And we are that dream. We are the embodiment of that dream as we stop, rearrange, rework, clear out, and anchor in and ground out these new energies. So that Pluto square the nodes is just, we're in a countdown to that epic time of change. And like I said, it peaks out the end of July, beginning of August, and pretty much July and August, we're going to be completely in the energies, and we're just now kind of having a countdown as the nodes are moving closer to switching signs. So the nodes of the moon on the 17th of June moved from 3 degrees Taurus and Scorpio to 2 degrees Taurus and Scorpio. And that means they're 2 degrees out of square with Pluto. And now on the 24th of June, just after the solstice, the nodes will move to 1 degree, and that's when it's like game on for the Pluto square the nodes. So this week of solstice is like teetering on the edge of flipping over into a new reality. So let's talk about these energies, knowing that it's like here we are, we're just about to go into this inevitable, unmistakable, unavoidable, and yet completely mysterious change. But here we sit at the precipice, at the edge. And here we're lifted up. We're being given an opportunity to lift up and see a bigger perspective, you know? And I think that was the energy of that Gemini new moon. It was like a new start and a new direction, and it's your destiny, and it's the dream of Earth, and it's all went awry because we gave up our voice of truth, of expression, of what's true in the spiritual world. And we must come back into this. And it's hard because we've been, so many supernova souls have been persecuted, targeted in past lives, for the expression of spiritual truth. And it's like, oh yeah, now to go ahead, speak it from the mountaintops. It's time again. Not that easy. And then that personality, that energy that was expressing in a past life that was targeted now, it's like that is a wounded part of ourselves that has to be recovered and healed. And perhaps that's the energy of this Sun square Neptune that was we've been feeling since the Gemini new moon, and we'll feel that through the 22nd. So through the solstice energies, and this is this confusion around our identity. And it turns out, supernovas, we have a much more real, big, huge, powerful, true spiritual identity that we have not been able to access because of all the trauma, drama games and the distractions and the targeting and how we bought into these stories. This is like just the delusions of the Piscean age that we were, as bringers of the light, something wrong, bad, and evil. And now this all has to get reworked. And so it's like there's an identity crisis. And I think supernova souls have been feeling this for a while, right? Like, who am I and what in the heck am I doing here? Because the old you, all of the mechanisms that you use to hold yourself together through everything you've been through, all the personality constructs, all the protections, all the boundaries and walls, and it's all falling away, and it just feels empty and lost and free fall. And this is where we're at. It's like, is it that the old structures of us have to fall away enough for the new to land? And if is a new trying to land, but the old is still kind of, it's a square peg in a round hole. And so it's a very tricky situation where it's almost like, we've been living in this matrix reality. At some point, the matrix is breaking down. And then there's this feeling of like, yeah, but what's going to catch us? Because it's like, those unhealthy patterns that we can identify in our psyche. And we want to heal these things. But it's almost like, even though you know that it's an unhealthy precept or concept or belief system, say from your family lineage or programming, sometimes it's like, it's what we know, you know? And so it's comfortable, even though it's completely toxic. And now we have to let go of everything we know to go move into the unknown. It's a very powerful activation of this, Sun square Neptune, activating Neptune in Pisces, but then this beautiful sextile between Saturn and Jupiter. So Saturn is in Pisces and Jupiter is in Taurus. Saturn and Jupiter came together for a conjunction, what's called the Greater Conjunction or Great Conjunction or Greatest Conjunction. These planets, Saturn and Jupiter, come together every 20 years. They are markers in our timeline. Saturn represents the old way and the established reality. Jupiter represents the new impulse that's coming in. So when they come together, it's like a timeline alignment. But Saturn, our old original timeline, got really absconded with and taken over. And so Saturn in Pisces is like a reworking, a reimagining of our original timeline, uncovering the dream of Earth again. And it's about, because Saturn is the laws and rules of our reality, but then in Pisces, it's all multidimensional, primordial soup. Water's a possibility. It's all dimensions and all possibilities. So we are completely rewriting our story back to the original story. And then Jupiter in Taurus, Jupiter has a expansive amplification energy. And in Taurus, it's like, ooh, we're looking at our values and we're looking at our value. So in order to rework the magic, the timeline, to go back to the original dream of Earth, we must uncover the treasures, the incredible gifts and skills, and our self-worth, our worthiness. Taurus is about bringing into form. And so the Pisces energy, Saturn in Pisces, is like dipping into the realm of all possibilities and manifesting a world that's more true to our spiritual nature. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience, and we got totally caught up in the matrix reality. And now we're untying the knots and loosening the hold and taking off the bridle and allowing ourselves to be free. And then what will catch us? We ourselves will catch us. And that in itself seems to be the mystery of how we're building this new world. It's like free fall. We got to figure out as we go, because we have this huge, big spiritual self that we don't even know. We have all these gifts and skills that have been completely hidden from us. We got to excavate deep into the darkness in order to uncover the light. So this Saturn sextile Jupiter is an opportunity for beautiful, mystical, spiritual blessings to come into our life. And we're being asked to be the cup, to be the grill, stop, open, to receive these blessings, to actively participate in the dream of Earth over this solstice week. It's so powerful and so beautiful, and it's so special that we're here together at this incredibly crucial time in our timeline, where we are being reignited into the fires of creation. So Saturn sextile Jupiter is a gift of Christ consciousness energy flooding into our world. Saturn and Jupiter are the planets that came together at the time of the birth of Jesus, at the last shift of ages, representing the Christmas star, representing the Christ consciousness timeline. So this interaction is an activation of the Christ consciousness timeline. And how beautiful, with Saturn at 7 degrees and Jupiter 7 degrees Taurus, 7 degrees, a number of Christ consciousness, speaking to the possibilities of manifesting the spiritual world that's here, that's more true to who we really are. And so there's all these possibilities. We're also having a huge activation in our divine masculine energies, because we've got Mars coming up to Black Moon Lilith in Leo. So Mars, we've got Venus in Leo as well. Both are masculine and feminine planets in Leo, and they're actually dancing around each other for the next couple of weeks, only coming within 3 degrees conjunction, but close enough to feel each other in this. It's like seeing our masculine and feminine as a light within themselves, not light and darkness, but two suns. And the power of the purified, clarified masculine Christos and the feminine Christos. This is the Holy Grail and the sacred marriage, and how we receive the blessings that want to come into our world. A perfect balance between the masculine and feminine. And wow, this is a divine masculine activation, because Mars and Black Moon Lilith are in exact sextile with Mercury for the solstice week. Mercury and Mars have made 3 sextiles through the last couple of months for this Mercury retrograde that happened in Taurus. Mercury's in Gemini now, moving right along, and yet here is the final note of the story, of the song of Mercury retrograde in Taurus. The final transit where Mercury and Mars come back together into their 3rd sextile, but now they were in feminine signs. Mercury in Taurus, Mars in Cancer, and now they're in masculine signs, and Mercury at home in Gemini. So this beautiful sextile, but then Mars is right there with Black Moon Lilith. So we got Mercury sextile Black Moon Lilith, Mercury sextile Mars, and then Black Moon Lilith is also in trine to Chiron in Aries. So we have this beautiful fire trine and this activation of the creative fires. And this is the deep mystery. We don't know. We never know what Black Moon Lilith is up to. Black moon Lilith isn't it's the furthest away that the moon gets from the earth, and it's a changing point. So it's kind of like a black hole. It's kind of like the deepest, darkest secrets and mysteries around control and the feminine. So what's up with our masculine hanging out here? Activating the fire, the light of the feminine. And this is a Kundalini awakening. Literally, the messages are like the fire frequencies coming in are so intense when we need to get into a slow burn where we're like, we're allowing the old, that old concept on constructs to fall away gently, supporting ourselves into handling these higher frequency vibrations. Incredibly powerful time. And like I said, Venus will come into that conjunction with Black Moon Lilith as well. But Black Moon Lilith is in trine to Chiron. And this will be peaking out the last week of June and the first week of July. And so this is a fiery backdrop of Black Moon Lilith and Leo, the darkness that's been hidden, that's keeping us from full expression, from our divine masculine, from our spiritual warrior, getting hooked into the creative energies, right? It's a massive initiation for our masculine. And then Chiron in Aries. Chiron is our deepest wounds. And it's about in Aries where we've given our power away, where we've given our life force away, where we have given up our dream and our vision of the perfect I am, the Christed human, exists in the picture of Aries, the energy of Aries. So our deep wounds is where this has been stolen from us, where the Christ consciousness timeline has been stolen, where our potential for as humans have been stolen, where our power has been stolen, where we've been manipulated and deceived. And it's like the deepest wounds are where we gave our life and life force in order to get along, where we gave up our true identity as spiritual beings. And so this is the activation of those creative fires where we begin to live again and we take back our life and we take back our power. So incredible, because Chiron and Black Moon Lilith have been nothing but trouble, and just really bringing up frustration and hidden drama, right? But in a trine, it's all harmonized and it's harmonized fire. And this is where we get this kind of smoldering, gentle fires that can be, you can stoke them when you need them, but you can also go slow and assimilate and adjust. And we just like, what does this mean on a cellular level to take the fires of life back into your body and into your reality? And this is what we're being asked to do with first Mars, then Venus coming into this conjunction with Black Moon Lilith and trine with Chiron. And it's interesting that Venus and Mars are dancing around in this flirtation. It's almost like we can't quite have them come together. It's just like too much. But they're gonna dance around this activation. They're each gonna get their own activation. Now, Venus and Mars don't come back together into conjunction until February 2024, February 22nd. And so then they will be in Aquarius together. And at 6 and 7 degrees, they'll come into conjunction. So what's starting now? Let's see. As of the 25th is when they come closest. So right after the solstice, Venus and Mars dancing together. And then the story of that completes until February 2024. So we are in a gestation period. We are in a rebirth process. We are being reworked in the womb of life so that we can reawaken and emerge and share and be a part of the waking dream of what Earth wants to become and our true role in this beautiful, beautiful dream. So those Venus is getting ready to the thing about the next few months with Pluto square the nodes, In July and August, that's also going to be where we're moving into Venus retrograde. Venus is taking a retrograde in Leo and will spend all the way until October in Leo. And so it's like we're uncovering the feminine light from the darkness. And isn't it cool that we're first starting this whole process out with Mercury, with Mars, sextile Mercury, the divine masculine activation. And it's like Mars leading the way into the fire energies, into the Leo energies, into the lion. Hear the lion roar again as the will of the human aligns again with the spiritual power within us, and nothing can stop what's coming. So we're hearing that lion roar, we're finding that lion within us. And then Venus, it's like paving the way for Venus to come and get her activation. And so she will be making 3 conjunctions with Black Moon Lilith for her retrograde. The third and final conjunction will be actually at 0 degrees Virgo in 10/10, October 10th. So that's the story there. uh, Venus goes into retrograde shadow at 12 degrees Leo. So that's how far Venus will start the retrograde on the 23rd of July, 28 degrees Leo. So it goes all the way to the end of Leo, then goes back to 12 degrees, and then we'll go through. So comes into shadow, retrograde shadow at 12 degrees Leo on the 20th here, just as we move into these solstice energies. So it's like, okay, Venus is going on a journey, and she's kind of like, she's got the divine masculine activation leading her way, like in the parade. But she's got to backtrack. She's got to go through the wilderness herself. She needs to know that she's okay with shining her light, right? It's kind of like, well, if everybody else, almost like how supernova souls, because of the persecution you've endured around expressing who you are spiritually, there's a feeling of needing to have approval kind of before you feel comfortable, and that's something that's been elusive. And this is like Venus saying, screw y'all. I'm going to go find my light, and it's not up to any of you. Whether, it's like everybody wants a piece of her. They want to keep her in chains in prison, and then everybody wants a chunk and a piece of her. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm not playing. Because it's not until our feminine is whole and complete, not leaking herself out, not cutting herself into pieces, trying to be everything for everybody all the time, try to be the doormat. It's like that's not going to work. She is a warrior in herself. She is a lioness. So, wow, what a journey. And to have Pluto square the nodes at the same time as Venus retrograde in Leo, the reconjunctions to Black Moon Lilith. And then Venus will also make 3 squares to Uranus. So this is what also Mars is going to do. Mars coming to Black Moon Lilith on the 21st, 22nd. And then that sextile with Mercury right there, the 21st, 23rd, same time. And then the Mars will make a square with Uranus as comes to the end degrees of Leo. And that's going to be the 26th, 27th of June. So coming to the end of the month here. Mars square Uranus, and Venus first square with Uranus will be just in that very first couple of days of July. So the very end. So it's like we've got this beautiful solstice energies and like reawakening the dream and bringing on a cellular level this Kundalini awakening into our very fabric of our being. And then it's kind of like, okay, here we go, facing the music with the Pluto square the nodes. And so Mars square Uranus is saying, where is your worth and your permission to bring these light codes in, or to be the light codes you already are? See, this is the thing. We already have these codes, right? We came in with them. Yeah, they're being activated by what's happening out there. They're within. It's ours. It's just like the feminist. Like, no, it's mine. I don't need your permission. I don't need to share it with you. I don't need to pay the piper. I don't need to do anything. I just need to own it and enjoy it. Can we have permission to own and enjoy our own spiritual light? How can we share it with anyone else until we do? How can we play our role in reawakening the dream if we can't allow ourselves to receive the dream? This is the big energy for supernova souls, and it's really powerful that it comes on the end of this massive activation of the divine masculine and the dream of earth and the divine timeline and the blessings and the miracles. And it's like, do you deserve it? Are you good enough? You know? Because how can we move into the abundance of who we are in the golden age of earth if we don't feel worthy? So that Mars square Uranus peaking out the 26th, 27th of June, and then Venus square Uranus will be on the 2nd of July. So that's the energy moving in to the 4th of July. And very powerful, incredibly, we've got this fire trine, we've got sextile between Pluto and Neptune. We've in water and earth. We've got sextile between Saturn and Jupiter with water and earth. And then we've got a sextile with Mercury and Mars with air, fire, and a fire trine. And it's all the perfect configuration, the lining up your destiny with your Earth's dream. So here we are. I hope you'll consider joining the Solstice Soul Group Session. It will be on Wednesday, 21st at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. It's exciting because we get to do it this time right at the exact time of solstice. And this is such incredibly powerful energies. So I'm so happy to be together. This is a soul group session, a group intuitive session looking at shared life pictures. And this is a quintessential offering of what I have for you in my experience through this evolution is being able to access these Akashic records and open the door for you to do that for yourself. This is my offering to you, and I hope that you can join us for this experience, a deep and profound group intuitive session for the solstice energies together. And that will be Wednesday, the 21st at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And you can look for information to sign up for that in the information box below. Supernovas, thank you so much for your support, for being a part of the Supernova Soul Tribe and the Supernova Soul Tribe Gold. Supernova Soul Tribe is $10 a month, and that gets you a Friday video update as well as monthly Q&As and lots of resources for Supernova Souls. The Gold membership also gets you into the activations, the new and full moon activations twice a month, and live sharing circles after. If you want to make an offering but do not want to join anything, there's also a link to a donation page. Thank you so much for being here, bringing your energy, being a part of this movement, being a supernova soul, making it through all you've made it through. It means so much to me to be here with you right now. And don't forget, as much as we're walking the lonely road of the wilderness, we are together in this journey, and that's the power of coming together as supernova souls in these groups and forging back communication are those pathways for us to come together and really get to work on what we came here to do in person together. So beautiful times lie ahead here. We're poised at the precipice of this new age, and thankfully you're here to be the torch, to lead the way. So thank you so much, Supernova Souls. I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.